So what we are really going forward here with, I mean, what's the idea is to understand how we can use GitHub API to build something on our own CLI or NewVim end. So looking at the GitHub PR GitHub CLI code base, I can understand that they are importing a particular module which gives you all the API endpoints. I hope at least from here I can see that they have GitHub v4.pull request review event comment. So this is possibly just a, yeah, just an enum that's pointing to multiple states over here. And there you go. So this is what we are really looking forward to. And let's go back to GitHub v4 code base here. I can see that they have mentioned how to use it. What's an enterprise client? You can have a GitHub endpoint. Okay, so this is for enterprise. That's okay. Simple query. You can define this variable. Viewer login created it. You can define this variable. Client.query context.background query comma nil query.viewer.login created add. So all of these informations will be given to you. I assume they will have a fixed construct on what they return though, because I'm curious if I can modify this. So var query struct viewer struct login at GitHub v4. Okay, this is all good. I'm not really looking for this. Arguments and variables, they support repository owner name and description. So, okay, right, understandable. So this will return a description of the particular repository. Then you can have a client.query, my first repository on GitHub. So this will, yeah, there you go, right? So this is basically just doing that and that's it. All right, so now what do we have? We have fetch repo description. And so define a variable, finally call a client.query. Yeah, all right. Okay, so we have inline fragments and all. So this is all good. Pagination is supported, and I don't, the amount of PRs I have, I don't think they'll require pagination. They might actually, depending on your limit. Then you have client.mutate. Okay, so all of this is a good stuff. Okay, this is great. Thank you for making this. I'm assuming inside. Okay, so this is a GraphQL import. That's okay. So all I'm curious is how do I call this client with stuff that I want? So do you have gen.go, which load schema templates? All of this is good. All of this is good. So let's actually search for a particular comment. Yeah, there you go. So they have these enums, right? So for each comment, they have an author association owner. All of these things are there. With contributor, yeah, first time contributor, okay. So this is interesting that they support, and then they support cannot update. So I think this is all good. Okay. And then you have comparison status. Okay, cool. All right. So now let's try to search where each of these things are used. Comment, author association. We are here. So let's search for comment, author association. Okay, so these are mostly enums. Okay, okay. So this is only for GraphQL, is it? So this is just a query syntax, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, okay, okay. So this is not really an API endpoint thing. Looks like they needed these set of enums or whatever they want to call it. So this is what they support, and this is a client that they're going to call over here. So get a v4.string input.body. Where do you get input from? Input is coming from pull request review input, add review, and then you have return client.mutate. So where is all of this supported? So this is supported within, yeah, okay, sounds good. So you have mutate host name, string, mutation interface, variables. So mutate performs a GraphQL mutation based on a struct and passes a response with the same struct as receiver. Okay, sounds good. So basically they are just mutating the particular enum or whatever that was, and that's how the request is submitted. Okay, so query performs a GraphQL query based on a struct and passes response with the same struct as receiver. All right, so sounds good. Looks like we have some understanding of how this is all happening. And instead of using GHPR CLI, we should be really using the API over here, right? So these all are right now querying as well. So that's why mostly query builder.go. I'm literally curious about this. So shorten query comments, issue comment. Okay, PR review, sure. Okay, okay. All of this is good. Okay, perfect. So far we got the concept, right? So you have reaction groups, you have client. So this is how they are initializing the client query options, REST API, new REST client. You're creating GH API. Okay, what is this GH API by the way? So this they are getting from, okay. So GH, so they have multiple packages for API and auth. Now the next question is whether you would want to use that if you're building a CLI. Okay, so let's try to clone this now and understand what's happening. Okay, and https github.com. Okay, what this is, my bad. Okay, there you go. This should work. So let's go to go gh and let's go to package API. So they have all the REST clients and all. What was the uh, uh, package API, right? Yeah, there you go. Nice one. So they have all the HTTP client options, REST client, don't go. So this is the REST client if you'd like to use. Yeah, I have not really used GraphQL before as much as how it expects me to, so but shouldn't be a hard learning curve, I assume. So you have okay, okay. All of this is there. If there's any get request, get issues, a get request to the specified path, and there's a post somewhere, post issues. Yeah, okay, sounds good. Okay, and now I'm curious. You have browser, you have config, you have JQ, you have repository, repository.go. What does it really support? So package repository is a set of types and functions for modeling and interacting with GitHub repositories. So what all does it support? It only supports parse with host, parse and current. Okay, so not really curious about this anymore. GraphQL client, HTTP client. Okay, so I would like to see how you're using GHAPI in that case. So you do create a GQL client. Okay, so you're getting your GraphQL client from this particular API. You're getting those enums from GitHub v4, and then you are just handling those cases, right? So that sounds good to me. So you can create, you can do a get or post request, right? You can create a GraphQL query, and that would handle most of these parts. Hmm. Okay, sounds good. All right, so looks like what we'll have to do is we'll have to recreate something like this. Just the only difference over here is that we would not want it to be a CLI. We would want it to be a TUI using a TUI library. Create something as a software, as something that people can use on the UI as well, but via terminal or even via NeoVim. So this is something that we'll have to build upon. Now, one thing I'm curious about is uh, how did they do it? Right, this new Vim plugin. So I assume they've been using, yeah, client.review PR. So what's really the client here? Client is required github.api client. What is your client here, sir? So you do have GitHub CLI not found. You are checking for CLI only, and you are, yeah, there you go, right? So basically they are creating these commands, right? That they expect people to, not really people, but the plugin to use. So yeah, this is what they're doing. So sounds like a something I would not want to experiment with. And yeah, I don't want to use, I don't want to end up calling GHCLI over here, at least for now. So that's something that we should fix. Just 1 second, guys. I need to do one more thing. I know it's always annoying whenever I do it, but okay. Is there any git plugins.lua? Okay, yeah, I wanted these plugins, except for the gh.nvim that I can probably keep it as here. Okay, so this should be good. And I should just modify plugins and push the changes. Okay, so this should be done here. And just 1 second. Okay, let's go to a new tab. Look for git remote hyphen v, and let me actually go to this repository because I do think. Mm, yeah, I'm not sure if I have the. Okay, have I been maintaining a different repository? No, right? So this should be good. Yeah, I'm working on this only, right? Okay, sounds good. Okay, cool. So this is done. I was just curious to push things. So GitHub v4 is what we'll use for creating the GraphQL queries, I assume. And we would use go hyphen gh to create the GraphQL client, assume. And then we will have to combine all of this into gh into the CLI, how they have done it, right? So this sounds like a good plan. And now we have to check if we have any Rust TY library that we could reuse. So let's get sorted. Yeah. So this is one thing I've heard about as well. Cookup delicious terminal user interfaces, scope TY. Yeah. So they have built it using all of this. Okay. Sounds good. So I don't want to explore the app. I just want to build. So I assume you have getting started here. So I can, yeah. So, uh, before that, what I would probably do is cargo init, cargo add rat TY, and okay, so let this happen. So they have added all the features that are all widgets, cross term layout cache, macros, stirred underline color, widget calendar, and all of these features are not added, I assume. Not sure. Hmm. So let's start with main.rs, and here I would like to understand how to create a GraphQL client, right? Something like that, and then just so I have done this. Do they have any examples to get started? I assume widgets block example. So, okay, so this is a block widget, right? Custom border style block demonstrates the block widget. So this is a block.rs. You have a function main here. Color IRE install. Hmm. Okay, so what you do is you run the TUI terminal within the terminal. Okay, you fetch all the context there. Then you do terminal.draw render. Okay, and event.read is key press break. Okay. So if there is any if there is any key that is pressed, you just break it. Render the UI with various blocks. So this is what we have over here. You take a frame as an input, layout vertical, horizontal, frame.area, left, middle, right, title, block widget, border block, style block. So you have all these type of blocks over here. So I'm looking for probably so like this is where it comes in, right? If you have a design in mind, you will be able to imagine what kind of blocks you want as well. All right, so that would make it easier. Hmm. So, so let me just check if Go GH equivalent is in Rust. The closest equivalent to Go -g is the GitHub API client library for Go is the Octocrab crate standard. So, okay, can I look at Octocrab then? Yeah, is it really maintained? Mm, शाम भी कोई जैसे है नदी लहर लहर जैसे बह रही है कोई अनकही कोई अनसुनी बात धीमे धीमे कह रही है कहीं ना कहीं. All right, so they do have an HTTP API. Yeah, this is something more like easily understandable for me compared to what I saw in GraphQL. So probably we can just go with this, right? Get a webhook support. So yeah, this is good. We'll need webhooks in case we want notifications and everything. Static API is there. Okay. Sounds good, guys. So we can go ahead with this, right? And then we will be able to order something for breakfast. All right. Okay, I'm just kidding. So we have all the APIs that we would need. Is there any documentation on, let's, you know what, like let's start with something that we would want. Pull requests, semantic APIs, there you go, right? So this is what we'll be needing. So we have let PR equal to octocrab instance, dot pulse, owner, repo, media type, whatever, full. So this is gonna set the media type for this particular request. Okay. All right. What is a media type though? Why do you have a media type here? Is merged except for given pull request is merged or not? Update branch, get. Okay, so if you give it a pull request number, it's gonna give you a PR. What I'm not sure what's the return type of this though, but sounds like a decent thing to start with. Then we can move forward. All right, guys. So we can use this in probably our next stream. We'll go through this. But thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching it on YouTube, I'll see you in the next stream. Bye bye.